Alright, so I believe it's time for some solo PvP. Now the main issue with solo PvP nowadays is the fact that almost everyone runs a lot of stabs, so you have to fly specific ships that have a bonus on scramblers, or you have to fly in a fleet, or the third option would be to use a tackle alt. But today I will be completely solo with the Cynabal, and well, hopefully I'll be able to catch some ships. Now, when I go solo with this ship, I have two different builds. This is the first one with dual webs, and I have the second one where I replace one web for one scrambler. This is if the target has potentially any stabs. Now I have about 8 points, which should be enough to hold some ships, and the rest of the build is about the same. I still use the passive shield tank Cynabal. The rigs are also the same. The nano core is the tungsten age core, and I have the extra cannon damage attribute. In the future perhaps I might change the nano core, but currently I don't feel like it's necessary to change this nano core. I like how it works, so I will keep on using it. And overall, this Cynabal has been doing a very good job, so I'm quite happy with the results of this ship. So let's undock and let's go to the first target. Now this morning I was quite sleepy and I undocked, I scanned, I did see one Phantasm and a bunch of other ships that were not that impressive, but there was this Phantasm. So I took out my Cynabal and I attempted the warp. Now I haven't noticed that I'm not in a Cynabal, and I find that
warp drive active.
Pretty hilarious right now, because through the whole warp process I thought that this thing is the Cynabal, but obviously it isn't. And I noticed that this is the Macarial back when I landed, and this is where I noticed that there is something odd here. Why is this Cynabal so big? Why is this Cynabal having large cannons? Well, it's because it's not a Cynabal, it's a Macarial. And of course, the Phantasm is definitely a little bit faster, and I was definitely still very sleepy. So when I realized that this is not the Cynabal,
Warp drive active.
I kind of laughed a little bit, and then I just went back to the station to take the right Cynabal. Although, you know, the mistake is not that big. The Macarial is technically a cruiser, but
warp drive active.
yeah, that happened. So I took the proper Cynabal now, and I warped back to the mission. And when I landed, there was no Phantasm on the gate, on the mission. Now I went to go and check the gate. Perhaps
warp
if I jump
active.
through the gate, the Phantasm might return to the mission. And I think after 15 minutes or so, the Phantasm did return. They were waiting until I lost interest. However,
warp
the
drive
catch is, I never lost interest. I was waiting for them to return. And now with the actual Cynabal, I'm warping back to the location. And empty again. Okay, well, fair enough. I guess I'll have to
warp drive active.
attempt a different approach, and that one is definitely going to be a bit more successful, I hope. So I went back to the
Docking
station,
request
I
accepted.
docked, And now my plan is to actually log out for 5 minutes so that the phantasm returns. Now here I'm probably going to change the scrambler into a web, because the phantasm doesn't seem to have any stabs, because they did have to shoot down the pirate ship that had a scrambler on them, and they could not warp away until the scrambler was removed. So I notified my friends in case I miss the target, so that they don't miss the target. So let me just do this, and about 20 minutes later the phantasm returned, and I have warped in right as they have been warping in. They have been scrambled and webbed. Looks like the phantasm has some shield resistances, but my barrage implant and DPS are going through the tank. The tank has been broken, and now the phantasm is in armor. I used the extender because why not? Let's avoid taking damage as much as possible. And the phantasm has been destroyed. It took some effort to catch this ship, but eventually they were caught. And as
Warp
I
drive
said,
active.
they did make the mistake, and the trick worked. So let me warp to the asteroid cluster, and now let me align myself toward station. Micro warp drive on, and let's take a look at the phantasm kill. 1.8 billion, an expensive one, okay. No afterburner, which is a little bit weird. Dual webs, a large Nosferatu, and they had some rig integrations. That explains the price tag on this ship, but overall a solid little kill. Quite happy with the result, and that was a decent start. Next target,
Warp drive
we
active.
have a Cynabal warping to the location. There is a lot of ships here. There is the Cynabal. That was a pretty good warping. Let me quickly web and scramble them. Webbed and scrambled. Barrage implant engaged. This Cynabal looks to be a shield tank, but definitely a lot easier to break than a phantasm. And by the looks of it, they are using a large shield booster.
We're under attack.
And the Cynabal has been destroyed. Nice. Let's
We're under
warp
attack.
out.
Warp drive active.
And now let's align to the station. Micro warp drive on, and let's take a look at the kill. 1.5 billion, not bad. They definitely had a better build than the phantasm, but overall solid second kill. Let's go to the next target. We have one Hurricane. Okay, that was a good warping, right at the optimal range. Scrambled, webbed, barrage implant engaged. But my turrets don't seem to work because of my internet. Lag kicked in. Now the turret is working and the barrage implant is on. Damage control active, extender active. The Hurricane is now into armor. They are a shield tank. The Hurricane is still boosting shield, but that's not going to work for much longer. And the Hurricane has been destroyed. Nice. Okay, let's loot up the wreck and let's warp out. I am at 52% shield. The extender and damage control did a good job. Let me align myself towards the station and let me turn on the micro warp drive. $325 million. Not a bad build. I like the look of this Hurricane, a PvP Hurricane. At least that's how the build looks to me. Overall, a solid kill. Alright, let's go to the next target. We have 3 targets actually. And why did my ship dock? Well, that's a good question. I have no idea. Well, let's undock again. That was a very weird bug. I don't remember clicking dock. So let me see. Let's not warp to that one. Let's not warp to this one. Let's warp to the Oracle. That's going to be the first target. Perhaps I'll go after the Moa after the Oracle. There is a lot of targets here and I plan to destroy most of them. Now this Oracle seems to be a sniper. They have 1 target painter. I will attempt to rush towards them. If they shoot at me, I have the extender and damage control that should absorb a decent amount of damage. The Oracle is now locking me on a little bit too late because I'm already in range. For some reason the Scrambler and web did not turn on, but the Oracle has been destroyed. That was a very nice approach and a very good catch. I honestly expected them to warp away, but I guess they didn't. Not really sure why. I can make the ship much faster, so the initial approach is going to be much easier. But currently I like how this ship works, so I'll probably keep it as it is. Let's not go to the trainer, let's go to the Moa, because why not? Hopefully, well, I'm definitely not going to warp towards a gate. I still have the timer. 10-minute timer to be more accurate. Okay, there is the Moa at 0. Webbed and scrambled. Barrage engaged. The little bit of barrage that's left, that is. And the Moa has been destroyed. Let's loot. And now let's wait out the criminal timer. I'm not going to go after the trainer because I'm not really sure if it's worth to go after a trainer. When they upgrade to a Navy fleet ship or something similar to that, perhaps, but a trainer, nah. Let's just wait out the timer and let's take a look at the kills here. 205 million Oracle. Okay, classic kite build, and let's take a look at the MOA. Well, the MOA was actually quite pricey, and the build on this ship is not that bad. It does look good. Well, we have the Caracal Trainer, but I'm not going to warp, and well, all targets in this run have been eliminated. Let's go to the next target. We have one Cyclone. Let's warp to 0. Okay, there is the Cyclone. They don't look aligned. Scrambled and webbed. It looks like... Actually, no. For a second, I thought that they might have a damage control, but that's not the case. Cyclone has been destroyed, so let's loot the wreck. They had medium torpedoes, okay. $180 million, not a bad build. Definitely better than the builds that I have seen before, easily. Okay, let's go to the next target. We have 4 signals, but this one is important. Actually, no. Let me scan again. That Dominic's did warp to the mission, but they quickly turned back. So I didn't have time to go and catch them. Okay, let me scan with the Astro. Now, this is basically me showing you how all this works and how you can easily swap the ships. Now, what is this one signal? This might be a battleship. Well, it's a Cyclone, okay. Next one, 2 signals. It means cruiser or battlecruiser. We have a stabber, and the last one, a Caracal Trainer. Well, okay. Let's dock. Let's get in the Cynabal, and we will go after the Cyclone. The Cyclone is the most valuable target there, and I will go and I'll try to destroy the Cyclone. Of course, there's always the possibility that they have 1,000 stabs, so they warp away. The most stabbed ships in the game are assault battlecruisers. They can have above like 12, 16 stabs. Not really sure why that's the case, but it is. Okay, that's the Caracal. This is the Cyclone. Let's warp at 0. Okay, there is the Cyclone. Pretty good warping. They are already in about 60%, 55% armor for some reason. And, well, yeah, that's a lot of stabs for sure. They used the damage control and they warped out. Oh well, let's just go and destroy the other ships on the scanner because I already have the timer and might actually as well go and destroy everything that's already in the system. Okay, let's go to this cruiser. The Cyclone is already out of the system. Well, this will definitely not take long, I'm fairly sure of it. The Stabber is now into armor, into hull, and destroyed. Okay, now let's warp out. I always say destroy every ship that you can in the system because you never know what they can drop. This can be applied even to these ships. Perhaps I might actually go after the trainer, but I'm not really sure. Doesn't look like they did have a lot of expensive items on them. In any case, let's align to the station and let's go to the next target. What do we have here? We have one Harby. Let's go towards the battlecruiser. I landed a little bit far away, but that's not a big problem. Let me quickly approach. Scrambled, webbed, barrage implant engaged, approaching to 3 kilometers, keep at range 3 kilometers. The Harby is now into hull, and they have been destroyed. Let's loot. And let's warp out. I have a bad feeling about the build of that ship. Usually never a good sign when you find a armor repair and a shield booster in the wreck. Usually means cursed. But we're about to find out anyway. Let me warp to... I'm at the belt. Okay, let's approach the station. Micro warp drive on. And let's take a look at the kill. 203 million, and yeah, I have a bad feeling about the build. And yes, it is cursed. Well then, not really sure why, but there is another cursed ship. Next targets, we have one prophecy command.
Warp drive active.
The prophecy did look like a shield tank, which is a bad choice for a prophecy. The prophecy is a armor tank ship. Unfortunately, someone in the system has scanned and the prophecy is no longer in the mission, unfortunately, which is unfortunate because I was looking forward to blow up that ship, but unfortunately looks like I will have to leave system and perhaps they might return. Notifying my friends to come here in case the prophecy does decide to return. Unfortunately they did not. The prophecy did not return, and well, they cancelled the mission soon after. Now we
Warp
have
drive active.
one prophecy and we have one Mauler in the same mission, so I took out the Cynabal and perhaps I have 2 targets. I assume that they will stay because I'm alone in this case. Okay, the Prophecy will be the primary target because it's more expensive. The Mauler is the secondary target. The Mauler warped away. Okay, I guess they left their friend alone here. The Prophecy is now into hole. And the Prophecy has been destroyed. Okay, nice. Unfortunately, I was not able to catch the Mauler because the Mauler decided to warp out, but I got the Prophecy,
Warp
and that
drive
is
active.
enough. Let's align towards the station. And let's take a look at the kill. 220 million, not bad. Actually a decent build. Neutralizers and Nosferatus and drone damage. Okay, let's go to the next target.
Warp drive active.
Now, I did say that I will show you some kills that were definitely not solo fights. Here we have one Gila, and my friend has tackled the Gila with a Stratios, and I warped in. Barrage is engaged, and the Gyrostablers have also been engaged. Now, this Gila did go down extremely quickly, and well, I did mention that I'll show you some very cursed builds, and I believe this is the first one. The Gila did drop some very suspicious B-types there, and that makes me a little bit worried about the kill. Now, I have seen a lot of horrible builds, and I even have that one mini-series where I basically look at cursed builds, and well, you have the opportunity to watch me I guess suffer while I take a look at all of these bad builds. And let's take a look at, oh my god, this is horrible. Now, I have no comments on how bad this is, and yeah, this is one of the worst builds that I have ever seen in this game. Basically, yeah, why would you use cannons B-types on a missile ship? That is
Warp drive
a question that I don't have an answer to. And some other good catches that we had is the next one, also definitely not a solo kill, but I decided to include it here because it was a pretty good catch. We have a worm. Let's approach. My friend also was nearby with the Stratios, cloaked, watching. The worm has been webbed and scrambled. Let me slow down before I can engage with the autocannon, because it's a small ship, and the worm has been destroyed. Also a very nice catch, and I thought it would be nice to include this kill into this little compilation because it was a very nice kill. Okay, let's warp out. Let's align towards the station and let's take a look at the kill. 413 million, not bad. A PvP worm, okay, that's interesting, and a lot of warp core stabs, because everyone uses warp core stabs. Now, this is a funny one. We have one oracle in the next system, and since my friend is on timer, I'm basically the only one who's available to go and engage the ship, so I went on and I will try to engage the oracle. Now, the oracle currently is not aligned, and they are basically at 15 from the mission. And I'm already warping. Now, when I jumped in the system, the oracle
Warp drive
immediately
active.
decided to turn back, and they are currently starting to align. So there is a good chance that the oracle will just warp when I land, because they are already moving, and they are already moving away from the original position. So the second I popped in the system, the oracle decided that it's time to vanish, and they did just that. They warped away. Well, it was kind of to be expected, and perhaps I should have taken the
We're
Stratius
under
for this,
attack.
but that station, this structure is very
Warp
difficult
drive active.
to deal with if you are a cloaked ship. And well, as expected, the oracle has left the system, and they have cancelled the mission. Well, that escalated pretty quickly. Alright, well, that was a very nice little run with the Cynabal. I thought to include some of these clips into the normal PvP run where I fly with my friends, but I just thought that it would be nice to include some of the more funny kills into this little compilation. But flying the Cynabal solo definitely doable. You just have to hope that you are not going to encounter a ship with a lot of stabs. In my case, today I surprisingly didn't encounter a lot of them. There were some faction cruisers that had like 12 stabs. There were some other normal battle cruisers that had a lot of stabs, but in most cases today was actually surprisingly okay in terms of what I was able to catch. So overall, I'm quite happy with the result. Again, we had some very, very funny kills, and hopefully I'll be able to keep up with the solo runs with the Cynabal, because I really do enjoy them. And with that being said, hope that you enjoyed. I love you all, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.